So what I got here today is a group or team or an organization called Little Light Studios. Now, they make a living exposing Hollywood, exposing the agendas of the satanic cults that work about the earth. So here we have these two incels. And I say they're incels because even if they're married, you know they're fucking turkey bastering their children into existence. This is Anime Exposed. This is part 1 and 4 of a documentary. I doubt I'll get the other parts, but hey, you know what? If there's a question that happens across the highlights of this or the edit, it is your duty to try to convert me. So I implore you to do your duty and get me a hold of these remaining parts of this documentary that we're about to endure. But I figure we start off things a little light here. Just a trailer of the Black Panther deception, because I thought there was one hilarious bit in here.
What does the Black Panther and the enemy of our souls, namely Lucifer, have in common? The number one question that needs to be answered is this: what do superheroes depend upon when battling against the forces of evil in their roles? When's the last time or the first time you see an animal speaking to a human being to eat something to receive power? You know very well what it is when the devil, when he possessed the serpent, spoke through the serpent and told Eve that if you eat of the fruit, you'll become like God. Where is he?
You also obtain the knowledge of good and evil. In fact, God said you would die if you eat the fruit, and Satan told him that you would obtain the knowledge of good and evil. So, in other words, God lied.
Getting his power from? Who is he getting his wisdom from? The goddess Bast. You know that's the devil. The Black Panther. And
oh yeah, he called it. He made the connection no one else could ever possibly see because it's not fucking there. I'll explain this in a minute here after we get through this.
Bast are connected together with the heart-shaped herb. The Black Panther is saying, honored fathers, mighty warriors, fearsome priests, Black Panthers all, in the name of Bast. Not in the name of Jesus, but in the name of a false god, the name of Bast.
Remember,
call
what's up the intense with every little thing?
Upon you to counsel. Hold on now. We must follow biblical principles when it comes to what we watch. Bottom line is this, right?
You know, this guy ain't following the fucking biblical principles. It's a hypocrite like all the rest. It's gonna be glorious.
If you take the witchcraft and the spiritualism and the false god worship out of the Black Panther movie, guess what? You won't have a Black Panther.
How is that anything? If you take away the spirituality, the powers, the magic, you won't have a Black Panther. Oh, yeah, if you take away Superman's super strength, his origin, and his upbringing, you won't have a Superman.
Ready for the Black Panther deception.
How do you say that sentence and not realize it's ridiculous? Well, I can tell you why. It's because he's a fucking idiot. But no, the other, more, better explanation of it is the mindset of the Christian. Because I used to be a Christian until I hit the age of reason, of the age of 22. And once I hit that age, I started understanding the mindsets these people have. Actually, it's something that you're taught. Anything that's not of God is of the devil by default. It's either of God or of Satan. Even people who do not believe in Satan are somehow still worshiping Satan by not believing in him. That's the kind of mindset that we're dealing with here. So, like, you might say, like, well, how are they... Is everyone in on it? Is everyone in on making movies and anime, as we're going to get into? Is everyone in on it, making this type of material, drawing people in to convert to Satanism? Well, it's not that they're doing it deliberately. In their minds, because they are not of God, they are not dedicated Christians, they do not believe in God, they are then tools of the devil, whether they realize it or not. So if you're not of God and you're an artist, your drawings and your inspirations and your influence are just going to be of the devil. You're just not going to be able to see that because you are blind, because you do not believe. And that is the general explanation of it. So with that mindset in hand, with that tool to our knowledge, let's get into this a little bit. It's going to be a short day. I just wanted to do a little experiment and see what I can come up with here.
Hello, I'm Scotty.
And I'm Mikey.
And we're some of the producers of this anime documentary, and we wanted to share with you a warning with this project.
Yeah, over the years, this is the most recommended topic we've got. Everybody.
Oh yeah, before we even get into this, one more quick thing. So this whole phenomenon here of saying all the media is evil is nothing new. There was a documentary called Deception of a Generation, and it was about He-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Scooby-Doo, and how they're all evil, and they promote witchcraft. And this came out in the 80s. It's nothing fucking new. The only difference is I think these versions are somehow older than these guys, but who knows? With today's science and medicine that these people deny, they probably are like 40 years old and we just don't realize it.
Wants us to expose anime, so we started doing some digging, and man, the stuff is dark.
So if you don't really have a problem or you've never been exposed to anime, this might be a project that you should prayerfully consider whether or not you should or should not watch it. But if you know...
Prayerfully consider if you should watch this program or not. Because, you know, I'm not able to comprehend the grand themes that are presented in various anime, or just anime, because I'm pretty sure to these guys, anime is not like an aesthetic of animation or stellar storytelling. It's just a genre in of itself. Oh, what movies do you like? Do you like horror? Do you like horror, action, anime? There's not different types of anime. There's just anime.
Somebody that's really into this topic, then please share our video with them, as we feel like this is a very important topic to explore.
Yeah, I'm sure you love that.
So you have been warned. With that said, enjoy the show.
Here we go. Are you ready? It's happening. It's happening. It's anime evil. Everything's so intense. Done. Executive producer, Patreon donors. Flashes of light. Graphs. Symbols. Motion graphics. Is it just make-believe? Something they want to make us believe. Yes. They want to make us believe the heart of the cards. Like a fucking orgy of Transformers happening here.
Is that anime in the kids section?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? There's a ton of it on Netflix now.
I know.
Yes, there's plenty of anime. And different types of demographics. Oh good, we got a spam bot. My favorite.
No, it's time to do a project on it. Mikey and I went to a local convention called Kanuga, and I was shocked
Hey, Dalen, what's up?
at how many people are into it.
Yeah, it's crazy just how many people have been asking us to cover it.
I remember watching
I like how we go from anime to this type of shit right here. You think they would learn something from anime and maybe they make a little bit of better animation here.
some as a kid, and now I realize
Yeah, I
how
got
much
it.
of that stuff was going completely over my mind. There's so many reasons why I question it now.
I didn't watch anime, but I read some of the manga comics.
I know a few things about some of the mainstream ones.
It's shocking how much spiritual imagery is used in these shows and movies.
Anime has a
As opposed to what?
undeniable influence over pop culture.
Honestly, some of it is so strange. It's hard to even grasp how something like this can gain so much popularity.
Do you know?
Excuse me? Is that like their low-key way of saying you're a bunch of nerds? It's so weird and strange. How could this get popular? It's different than what my culture is.
Know where it all started? In 1963, a little black and white cartoon called Astro Boy premiered in Japan. Within 8 months, NBC began showing the English version in the US. The creator Tezuka was very influenced by Western culture, and his father believed that Japan's future prosperity lay in partnership with the US, and raised his son on American imagery. There's constantly Westerners appearing as peaceful scientist collaborators.
Return from the United States. The new minister will meet.
Alright, we know the general history of anime. Yes. Speed Racer, yep.
First cities to hold a convention and they only expected 500 attendees, but 2,000 showed up. Today, Los Angeles hosts the annual Anime Expo with 100,000 plus attending.
I remember in 2003,
Ooh, that's pretty good cosplay.
Disney's Spirited Away won an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. In the last 2 decades,
Yes.
imported anime series such as Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Dragon Ball Z developed huge US audiences.
Tons of movies have robbed their ideas from anime.
Robbed their ideas. Not inspired by. Robbed. Anytime you make a movie or book, I mean, there's no such thing as originality, period, for one thing. But anytime they adapt anything from anything, it's robbing. Gotcha.
Did you guys ever see The Matrix?
These guys must be from DeviantArt. No wonder why their animation is the way it is.
Nope. What'd I miss?
Well, you didn't miss much.
That's not even fucking close. I mean, anytime there's a guy stopping a bullet with his hands, yeah, it's a reference to Akira. Gotcha.
It pretty much went downhill after the first one.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Movies have robbed their ideas from animes. Did you guys ever see The Matrix?
Nope. What'd I miss?
Well, you didn't miss much. It pretty
Excuse me? It's a fucking masterpiece. Go fuck yourself.
much went downhill after the first one.
Oh, wait, there's more than one?
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend.
I only watch the Bible. I don't watch no Matrix.
It, but it drew heavily from the style of manga and even released its own animated series called The Animatrix. Everyone thought The Matrix was so original, but it pretty much was a direct rip-off of an anime called Ghost in the Shell.
Oh. Okay. My brain's trying to leak out of the fucking goddamn my ears and my nose. Just keep that in there. A direct rip-off of Ghost in the Shell. Yes, The Matrix. So much like Ghost in the Shell. It might have some inspirations of some of the scenes, but as far as the plot and story goes, it's completely fucking different. It has,
And Ghost in the Shell was made into a movie.
Quentin Tarantino had an entire anime scene illustrating a character's backstory in the first Kill Bill movie.
Yes, we get it. Anime is there's a lot of places.
You guys ever watched The Lion King? Did you know that was also a direct ripoff of the Japanese?
No, it wasn't. Oh my god. I can't believe you're even touching this now. Jesus Christ, there's like a million fucking stupid things flying at me at once. Okay, if you think Kimba's a ripoff of The Lion King, watch this documentary from Adam from Your Movie Sucks. Yes, you can see that timestamp. It is 2.5 hours long. It's fucking worth it. It's very interesting because Kimba is a 65 plus episode series. A series. And there's only so many angles and stories you can explore in the land of Africa involving lions. And also there's humans in this, and there's also magic, and there's also a lot of crazy shit, including his corpse of a dad being paraded around by friends of his to, like, trick Kimba into thinking that it's a spirit, giving him advice. I mean, it's crazy.
Japanese anime.
Oh shit. XTCX Jester, hello. Thanks for joining. Well, look, we got some viewership. House puppies. Welcome. I don't know if you mentioned, if you were here for the Kimba White Lion rant, but yeah, Lion King, not to defend the evil corporation of Disney, but Kimba and Lion King are completely fucking different. Even the creator of Kimba was practically begging people to stop saying that Lion King ripped him off.
Animation titled Kimba the White Lion, despite its claim.
All right. Well, what's that?
No!
Tonight, we're proud to present the most successful film in the history of the Walt Disney Studios.
Was that like a no, like, oh my god, I can't believe that was a
Claim
ripoff?
of originality.
Like,
No!
The most view, The Lion King. Hello, I'm Michael Eisner, head of the Walt Disney. The Lion King is not based on any previously published.
Michael Eisner is totally lying through his teeth.
oh, okay, so they're trying to get you to hate Mike Eisner as if this is the reason to do it.
Wow, look at those characters are exactly the same.
Yep. Oh my god, every one of these things were covered in Adam's documentary. It's pretty much a documentary to me. It's the fucking African desert. I mean, safari setting.
To create
Japanese anime.
Okay,
Basically,
bullshit.
Even Warner Brothers did the same thing, stealing the original story from Tezuka with their release of Iron Giant.
No! No! If anything, inspired by...
in 1999, which was basically a reboot of the 1963 cartoon Gigantor.
Originally, these animations appear to be...
Are they trying to like say like we need to make the connection between Western animation and Japanese anime, and therefore anime is evil, therefore Western animation is evil? We gotta remember these are Christians we're dealing with here. I used to be one, so I know where their brains are at.
Pretty innocent cartoons.
It's a misconception that animated productions are only made for kids. But that exists because aren't most animes marketed to young kids?
Yeah, since they are all over Netflix and Cartoon Network, tons of kids are getting sucked in at an early age. When we went to Connooga and interviewed fans about their favorite shows, this is what they said.
I love anime.
I love it. I mean, I can't watch enough of it.
So describe love, like you watch it every week?
Every day.
Oh, wow. Even more telling was the age that they were first introduced to it.
So, like, what was your first anime you watched?
Naruto.
Yeah, let's hear.
Mine was Akira when I was 8. I mean, fuck. When I watched Akira as a kid, it pretty much ruined all cartoons for me for a long time because I wanted almost everything. I was like, why can't Saturday morning cartoons and kids shows be like Akira and other anime shows that came out around that time? Like Dragon Ball Z came out fully dubbed but censored to all hell. Like we were not aware of that as a kid, but yeah, that blew my fucking mind as a little twerp.
Wolf's Rain, Inuyasha. Every single one out there.
So how old were you when you got into it?
Oh, very young. My father was really into Dragon Ball, and he had like a bunch of VHS.
This is definitely for like parents and boomers and other people who just never like watched anything. And this is basically designed to cater to them so they can go around and feel really smart and special about themselves because they know the evils of the world. But also they don't have to do anything outside their little home and church area.
Tapes and actually still have the whole Frieza saga on VHS.
So how long have you been into it?
Yeah, Sci-Fi Channel had a lot of great anime back in the day that I was not aware of. They had like Harlock Saga. Now the dubbing was fucking wretched, but it was the only way you could even get exposed to anime back then, and especially for me because I had no friends growing up, and I definitely had no friends that were into any anime.
Okay. Do you mind me asking you how old you are?
Not that much, at least. Not enough to get VHS tapes.
How old?
Of course, probably like 8. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, they were young.
Have you been into anime, and like when did you first start getting into this?
My first anime was like in 5th grade. It was Attack on Titan, which was a mistake because I was a 5th grader, and that The mother getting the head torn off was a little much for me.
Well, she didn't get her head torn off. She got broken in half. But, you know, whatever. And they didn't explicitly show it.
At this age, think of the shock and horror that some...
Oh, I know what you're talking about, Jester. You're talking about Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories was the first abridged anime. Like, before there was abridged anime. That was the first one. They got a script of this shitty anime that didn't take off in Japan, and they're just like, yeah, here's the script, here's the translation, and the voice actors just took that script and just threw it right in the goddamn garbage, and just made up their own dialogue. They had some fun with it.
Something like this would happen to your mother.
Think
of the shock. At this age, think of the shock and horror that something like this would happen to your mother.
Yes. That's the point of the fucking anime and what's happening in the scene. It's supposed to be shocking. You're watching a movie, you're watching a TV show. It's supposed to be an experience. You're supposed to experience it. Just like when you tell your stupid fucking Bible stories about David and Goliath, where David kills Goliath, chops off his fucking head, and brings it to the king as a trophy. You know, the fun little stories they tell the kids. Or how about the story in the Bible where these kids make fun of a bald guy, and so the bald guy curses the kids, and they get mauled to death by bears. Those are actual stories in the Bible. Like, imagining you're a little kid and you make fun of some bald guy, and then all of a sudden a bear comes out and rips your arms off.
My first anime was Attack on Titan. He's the reason that I started watching it.
This guy,
he was like, hey, you should totally watch this. It's on Netflix. I think you like it. And from there, I started watching like Death Note, a bunch of other stuff like that.
Whoa, these guys are super young to be exposed to this kind of violence.
Am I supposed to get like a protective vibe because they're children watching a TV show? I was watching Freddy Krueger when I was like 6. I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And you know what? I have yet to kill anyone in their dreams.
So you're into anime. What was your first anime you ever watched?
My first anime was Heaven's Lost Property.
Did he just say Heaven's Lost Property?
And that just kickstarted that genre, and then I branched off.
Like, how old were you when you watched it?
Oh, like 10, 11.
Never heard of it. So
I would even say that there's tons of animes that adults shouldn't watch.
left violence. If I want that, I could step outside and look at the world, right? For the record, too, at least in the United States and Canada, despite all the problems that we have with like mass shootings, overall gun violence has been steadily going down. Violence in general has been steadily going down for the past 30 years. And that's not made up. I mean, I could pull up the statistic if no one believes me, but I think the audience is intelligent enough right now that they know that, or they can at least accept that and look it up for themselves if they really want to.
Either.
These cyborg chicks.
Yeah, the Flood, or Sodom and Gomorrah.
It's like fall from heaven, and it's a harem anime.
Yeah, and this one is super messed up. Not only is the anime extremely inappropriate with the images that are borderline pornographic, the story is also super blasphemous.
So like,
what is
the protagonist has a bunch of cyborg chicks that can literally perform any task.
Interesting.
And he's into panties.
Gotta love panties with designs on them. I'm starting to get sick and tired of this foolishness.
Yes.
Sure, you got it.
So they're like sex robots or something?
Yeah, but
kind of.
They're programmed to do
What's
whatever
going on with the
master
effects?
wants them to do.
House puppies, I don't know. I think you might be hitting on something key here. Not all anime is made for kids. I do wonder though, who is this for audience-wise, technically speaking? Because like, at this point, in this day and age, who doesn't know that there's animation out there that's just not catered to kids? Here, kids, there's something called. This sounds fun.
So what is the
Hentai.
master?
Yeah. Here,
Yeah,
it's
what
called the rave.
describe him? What is it?
I don't know.
I
He's
love
like
it.
the tyrannical guy that lives upstairs.
He's like the tyrannical guy that lives upstairs.
Oh yeah. He's just,
Oh, they're talking about God.
You'll remain my toy for as long as you.
Now, I know you guys weren't here earlier, so we have to get ourselves in the Christian mindset. I used to be a Christian until I reached the age of reason. I'll get into that too, because my parents and my friends' parents, it didn't matter how good the anime was. It could be Full Metal Alchemist, it could be Cowboy Bebop. I could never convince them to even give it a fucking chance. Like, they just could not relate to anything that was going on because it was simply animation. And I guess they were just inundated that animation was for kids, despite how raunchy Looney Tunes were, etc. But that's just how it is. Okay, so but the Christian mindset. Now, this is what I was raised into. For as far as like Judeo-Christian values, you are either of Jesus or you are of the devil. It is completely absolute. Christians are Sith only work in absolutes. Christians only work in absolutes. You are either of the devil or of Jesus. Binary, on or off, black or white. So that means that when it comes to like media, entertainment, movies, making anime, if you are not of Jesus, I'm an artist myself, if you're not of Jesus, then you are automatically a tool of the devil by default. Even if you don't believe in the devil, you are worshiping the devil in their heads. And you are now a tool of the devil. So your inspirations, your goals, your desires, they're all being influenced by demons. And you are not aware of that because you are blind for not believing in God. And once you believe in God, then you'll be able to look back and say, like, oh, all this time I was being controlled by Satan. All my works and all my inspirations and all my drawings inspired by Satan. So that's where we come back to anime here. So like, you could say, like, why don't you talk to these artists? Do you think these artists are deliberately making their imagery to make fun of Christianity and making fun of religion? Possibly, because it's deserving. But it's also but they'll also say that they don't know what they're doing in some cases. It's ridiculous.
What's wrong, good for nothing? Have you forgotten what comes next? This is the part where you beg, oh.
You grew up, Latter-day Saints? Am I correct in that, House Puppies? Yeah, 18 Years Lost. Yeah, I swear, like, for my conscious life of, 17 years, I'd say, pretty much the same amount of years for me. Like, up until that point. Fuck me. I'm glad you got out. I got lucky with my parents. They didn't disown me, even though by the Bible they're required to. Hopefully they're not watching this and they don't get any ideas now. But yeah, even though despite even in our church and stuff like that, they promoted the idea you should disown your kids not disown your kids, but disown people who are not of the faith and not associated with them. They're still in my life. I don't like to talk about it too much because I don't want to like rub it in other people's faces, because I know a lot of people get disowned when they come out and it's atheist or queer.
Please.
Oh, was my phone ringing?
Master, please don't scrap me.
I couldn't hear it. It's my headphones.
You have your orders, Delta.
And so that got you into
Yeah, that shot me down that path, and then I branched off to different genres from there.
Yeah, those kids were like 14.
I know, right?
No.
It's so not okay or appropriate for such young kids to watch.
Why? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I watched Spawn when I was like their age. Spawn, the animation with boobs and blood and guts and all that other stuff.
And everybody we interviewed was super into anime. I mean,
I love that. Everyone they interviewed at an anime convention was super into anime. Wow. You know what? I went to a furry convention and everyone there was a fucking furry. I just couldn't comprehend it. Like, wow, it was amazing. I went to this furry convention and everyone was a furry. And then I went to an anime convention and everyone was into anime. And I went to a My Little Pony convention, etc.
There wasn't even a single person who wasn't into it. And when asked about the appropriateness of the...
Oh, I'm sure they do. Oh, I can already tell. I can tell you right now. There's videos on this channel talking about the pedophilia agenda, where they talk about how the next agenda is normalizing pedos, as if you're ever going to convince adults that it's okay for a grown man like me to come after their child. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's really going to happen. Ties in, yes. The last BronyCon, I think, was just a few years ago at this point.
Violence or sexual content, they all had this to say.
But there's some anime like, I don't know, Kill La Kill and like Devil May Cry, like stuff like that, that it's not really meant for kids, but somehow kids are getting into it anyways.
Is there any sort of like
violent element to it? Some
really
Violence? Wolf's Rain is extremely violent. It's
Oh,
very
love
bloody.
Wolf's Rain.
Especially the end of it is very bloody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wolf's Rain is beautiful. I can't think of this. Well, this is why I got into anime. It
Yeah,
was
it's got a
mainly
lot of
because
fighting.
anime
lot of
is
the
so
anime
fucking
now is, like,
different
pretty
compared to
hardcore.
Western
Oh,
animation.
yes. A lot of old anime are as well, but it just, yeah. I think that older...
And for the record, French animation is a lot different too. So, you know, for some reason, Western animation's stuck in the pigeonhole of kiddie entertainment.
Anime
But
were
anyways,
very
there's a lot
targeted
of good
towards
stuff
adults,
still.
and now they're trying to target more towards children too, so, yeah.
So how old were you when you saw the first anime? What was it?
I was approximately
Wolf's
8
Rain
years old
broke me.
when I watched
can say that.
Pokemon for the first time, and then I just gradually started with Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Cardcaptor, Sakura, all those.
It's wild that these kids get hooked because of Sailor Moon when it's full of extremely inappropriate and overly sexualized content.
Oh, here we
I'd
go,
say
the
it's
Sailor
not suitable
Moon.
for any audience, let alone children. It may seem cute and colorful, but its main protagonists, which, by the way, are supposed to be 14-year-olds, are often in
mind, they're gonna get
compromising
shit so
scenes
wrong
with
here, I know it.
extreme nudity. Here in the United
Extreme
States...
nudity, yes. When it came out in Saturday morning, Sailor Moon was just flashing her titties at everybody. You got it.
Pedophilia is a big no, and it's a super sensitive topic.
I didn't know that until now. Thanks, Little Light Studios. I didn't know that was bad. Can you tell me that murder's bad next?
That girl looks 7 years old. Way too early to be worried about boys falling in love with them.
Yeah, when the animes have
Get
like
your mind
young
out of the
kids
gutter,
in there,
how about
then you
that?
just
Like, what
automatically
the hell are you
assume that it's
picturing?
for kids.
But because it's an animation, the twisted storylines usually fly under the radar. But kids pick up on these themes subconsciously.
And yet pedophilia can be found...
Sailor Moon, for me, was like one of those shows I really wanted to watch, but I was afraid that people might somehow find out that I'm watching it and then make fun of me, so I denied watching it. Like, keep in mind, I'm like elementary, middle school at this point, so, you know, it's the stupid mindset of a kid.
across anime, as well as themes of incest, homosexuality, lesbianism, and transsexualism.
Lesbianism and transsexualism, yes. Join the transsexualism movement. Become trans. Trans rights, by the way.
And it gets even more weird when original Japanese anime is changed for US viewers. In Sailor Moon, Haruka and Michiru are lesbian lovers, but in the American version, they made them cousins.
It's just because it would not be allowed here. And yes, I understand how awkward it is that they made them cousins, but this documentary is going to present it in a way like they did that deliberately to try to like underhand pass a message that incest is just A-okay, folks.
He's exactly the type who's supposed to have a pure heart and
I identify as
We
ism.
should make sure we watch him closely then. Leave it to me, cuz. Okay.
But someone clearly didn't think this through because they left the scenes the same, only changing dialogue, leaving the impression that they are some sort of twisted cousin lovers. Usagi, or...
Yeah, except they probably cut out a lot of this shit anyways. I'm not going to give this documentary credit to keep things accurate.
Or better known as Sailor Moon, is a middle schooler who falls in love with a college student. There's even a scene of the characters engaging in sex.
Okay, this certainly is not kids material.
Maybe we should pause it.
I'll get it.
Hey, Fiesta Taco Delivery, there's a party.
Are we doing a Mexican stereotype? Is this a bit? Is this gonna, like, are we gonna lead into, like, I'm going to give this anime too much credit. Maybe this is a lead-in to like the underhanded racism, unintentional most of the time when it came to Japanese animation, when it comes to black people and their portrayals. Maybe. Are we going to really? Are we serious? This guy is drawn in such a way he looks like a white guy that just found a Halloween costume.
Every bag.
Did anybody order tacos?
Tacos? No, I didn't order it, but that should definitely be what we have for lunch.
Hey, looks like you guys having a watch party. That's kind of weird.
Hey, this is not one of those weird fetish parties, is it?
No, it's not. You see,
Do you even know what a fetish is?
Hey, look, I'm not judging, just dropping off some food. This is not 66 Broad Street, is it?
Yeah.
No, this is 144 Narrowway.
But can we put in an order?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll be back later.
Well, that was kind of awkward.
And offensive. What the fuck?
But you know what's crazy? There are tons of reaction videos on YouTube where...
Really? So that wasn't a bit at all. That was just a random... Okay, that was a bit, but I mean... It wasn't leading up to anything. That was just like, hey, we're just gonna have this Mexican stereotype show up. Are you fucking for real?
People don't find this scene disturbing.
These people are shitty.
This isn't the only time that Usagi stayed overnight at her boyfriend's
It's
house.
a fun game.
What'd
Hey,
you
buddy.
send me here, Dalen?
Let's have a snowball fight.
Is this gonna get something that's gonna violate things? Oh, we'll look into that later.
We should probably
Stay on
do
topic.
what
Stay on topic.
Let her sleep. Both of you can stay
They just
here
needed the
tonight.
random racism. Yeah, they gotta check all the boxes for this type of documentary.
This particular storyline is even carried over into later seasons of the show. There is even a scene where
So fucking
Usagi's
what?
love interest, Mamoru, accidentally kisses an extremely young 5-year-old Sailor Chibi, which
Sailor
how do you
Chibi?
accidentally kiss a 5-year-old?
Hey, what just happened here? You there! What do you think you're doing? Why are you hugging my Momo? Momo? Hey! Back off! Get away from my man!
Usagi becomes jealous when she thinks her boyfriend is falling in.
Hey, you got me there. I mean, it's fucking weird to me, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure it's also... Well, that's not even an argument. I think also, too, Sailor Moon is being portrayed as someone who's insanely jealous. Because I knew a girl that was insanely jealous, too, in high school. She would hit her boyfriend if he ever even looked in the direction of another woman. Whether she was 80 or 8. It didn't matter. She's like, don't look at her. I was around for this, to witness this, at least. She would refuse to leave her boyfriend alone in the room with her retarded cousin, who was, and I can say that because she actually was, who was like 10 years younger than her, because she was afraid that her boyfriend might go after her. She was ridiculous. But, you know, I think that's what's going on here in a little bit.
It seems like the only thing you care about lately is Chibiusa.
And welcome, Cerberus. You walked in on a good
Do you
time.
like her? Do you think she's that cute?
What? That's ridiculous. She's still in elementary school. She's just a little kid.
So what if she's little? That doesn't matter in love.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
She's still another woman!
This twisted relationship is not the only young love to spring up. Naru, who is also aged 14, falls in love with Naphrite, who is 19.
This is disturbing. You can...
Disturbing, yes. Someone notify Twitter. Quick. Oh, let's move the chat over here. Sorry, I didn't know it was over my face. Quick, someone notify Twitter. 14-year-old and a 19-year-old, 5-year difference. Not okay. It's also fucking anime, but whatever.
Clearly see that he towers over the little girl.
Yikers, that's not something you want your kid exposed to.
Oh, just wait, it gets worse. Even the
Yes.
villains in the series are gender-bending teenagers. The Sailor Starlights are 3 Sailor Senshi from another star system looking for their missing princess, which...
We all know there's only one star system. It's our solar system. The 9 planets. Because we don't believe in science, so Pluto's still a planet. And there's nothing outside that whatsoever. And these guys coming from another star system, which we know is blasphemous.
Lands them on Earth to find her. In their civilian forms, they are biological men who created a boy band called Three Lights.
So it's kind of like the Spice Girls meets...
My mom and dad are 6 years apart, but, you know, keep in mind, they're in their 20s. Yeah, they were in their 20s when they met.
NSYNC?
Now that would be weird. They become female when they transform into their Sailor Senshi forms. Additionally, their leader is clearly in love with Sailor Moon, which is super confusing to the viewer because their genders constantly change.
How is that confusing? What am I going to be confused by? Oh my god! The gender's changing, and she's also in love with Sailor Moon. My mind has been broken. Anyways, let's look up Revelation in the Bible and talk about how the world is going to come to end by scorpions that have tails that sting you and make you thrash in pain for 6 months out of the year before you die. And that's the actual passage in the Bible.
This sounds like something from 2020, but it came out nearly 30 years ago.
You know, the Bible has a lot to say about sexual immorality.
Oh, I'm sure it... Oh, I know it does. What am I saying? I'm sure it does. I know it does. Bring it on.
1 Thessalonians 4:3-5 says, "It is God's will that you should be sanctified, that you should avoid sexual immorality."
Define sexual immorality. To these guys, sexual immorality is anything other than missionary, with no thrusting or moving, and probably using a turkey baster later to get pregnant.
That each of you should learn to control your own body in a way that is holy and honorable, not in passionate lust like the pagans who do not know God.
Amen. Great text, Keith. Along with all the adult-themed relationships, there are a ton of questionable messages and occult references that
And yeah, you know, it's fucking weird and shit, but at the same time, we're going to encompass all anime into being evil.
are very problematic for any Christian. I'm talking about magic.
Everything's problematic to a Christian that's not of the Bible, and I'm pretty sure these people make exceptions, because you know they make exceptions.
Sorcery, spells, and reincarnation, and even underage drinking of alcohol.
As it says in the Bible, "Thou shalt not drinketh the alcohol till thou art 21. And those who depicteth underage drinking as if it were a real thing that happens shall be put to death and sent to hell for all eternity. But also, I love you."
Very nice to make your acquaintance? That doesn't sound right. Glad to know you? Look at them. They're not having any trouble. The book says in a situation like this, have something to drink. Here goes.
You know, the Bible is very specific not to have anything to do with witchcraft. In Deuteronomy 18:10-12, it states...
Also, witchcraft isn't fucking real. It doesn't matter how much you I get it too. They're under the mindset that this is somehow going to convince people that witchcraft is real and you can actually cast spells and shit.
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or useth divination, or an observer of times, or of an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer.
And also says to kill them too. So if you catch your child reading some Harry Potter books or practicing some spells, you know what to do. You know what to do. It is your
all
duty.
that do these things are an abomination to the Lord. Because of these abominations, the Lord God doth drive them out from before thee. When the Bible uses the word abomination, it literally means that God hates those things and that he would excommunicate the people.
Oh, he would do more than excommunicate. Don't fucking mince words. You know what he would do. There's plenty of passages where people just drop dead in the Bible. Let's see. I forgot which passage it is. I really want to fucking find out, because there's a story of readings that we went through in Sunday school where like a person lied or some shit like that, and he just dropped dead, like just boom, dead. Like that was enough for God to just kill him. And it was something ridiculous. And because it happened with multiple people.
if they engaged in
find it
such
here.
activities.
Do you guys notice the symbols on their forehead? Look like they are taken from astrology.
Oh no,
Check
not
this out.
astrology.
Wow, it reminds me of when the book of Revelation describes God's
Yeah, they believe that.
people having a seal on their foreheads, and the wicked having a mark of the beast in their foreheads. Also, like the opening of the third eye in Eastern and New Age religions, there's a
Because every religion that's not Christianity is automatically evil, and these people do not consider the fact that if certain mindsets are left unchecked and unchallenged, that just leads up to people getting murdered. Let's face it. If Christians had their way, they can scream all they want. Here's the thing. What's the difference between me coming up to your doorstep with a gun and me coming up to your doorstep with a petition to sign that states that you will be put to death for existing? Like, what's the difference there? There really is no difference to me. If someone came up to me with a gun and threatened my life, or someone came up with a petition that said, kill all gay people, essentially, there's no fucking difference. Not to me, at least. Self-defense at that point.
ton of demonic possession in this show.
At one point, Sailor Moon cries.
But, you know, they don't say that anymore. They can't say, let's put in prison gay people. They have to work their way back to that. So first, it's reversing marriage. It's part of the 2016 Republican, I was about to say doctrine. But no, it's actually part of their platform. If you look at 2016's Republican platform, it's stated in there that they seek to reverse gay marriage and reinstate traditional marriage. And that's one of their goals, and they still push for that. And they're probably going to be pushing for that for the rest of my life, just like they keep trying to push to make abortion illegal for the rest of our lives. Even though they can't outright make it illegal, they'll try to make it so fucking hard to do it that it's almost impossible, which they have done in some states.
Out to Saturn, which is completely pagan, and in some ancient writings is a reference to Satan.
It's only a reference to Satan because you people kind of manipulate it when you write the Bible.
She's restoring it.
The character Tuxedo Mask blasphemously calls Sailor Moon the Messiah.
The Messiah.
Notice that there are 5 sailor girls, each named after different planets. The number 5 in the Wiccan religion represents the 5 points of the pentagram.
Maybe because it was inspired by that a little bit.
These magical girls are even called guardians.
Uniting our hearts to fight as one is what makes us Sailor Guardians.
Mercury
which
bubbles!
Is Wiccan lingo
I remember
for
that.
the watchtowers that correspond to the 4 directions and the 4 elements. When the watchtowers are invoked, it symbolizes the connection to all things that exist, the 5th element being spirit. The series borrows concepts from the Bible, such as the Tree of Life, which is depicted in the show as a god-like being who was alone in the universe and then created humanoid.
I used to know a guy who was a Jehovah's Witness. He would pretty much not be allowed to play or watch anything, like any video game, anything that had anything that had demons in it. Like, even Doom. Because there was demons in it, he could not play Doom. Even though you play as a guy that slaughters demons, you think it would be right up their fucking alley. But whatever. Okay. That's how we're going to do things here.
People because it was lonely. The people eventually become evil and corrupt, resulting in the tree weakening and seeking help from Sailor Moon to regain power and be reborn.
Man, how twisted is that? God created humans. John 1:3 says, all things were made through him, and without him, nothing was made that was made.
I'm seeing something
so if the
coming up
tree
here.
created the humans, this is a blasphemous depiction of the true God, making it seem as he can be weakened by his own creation, and then he needs to seek help from the pagan witches in order to survive.
So, you know, another anime that sugarcoats the occult is...
Sugarcoats the occult. Again, I'm trying to keep my mindset in this, that this is all about converting you into committing witchcraft and dedicating yourself to the occult. I gotta remember that this is what this is all about. This is the entire agenda of anime. You are trying to be converted into being part of the occult.
It's Dragon Ball Z. Have you ever seen this one?
Oh yeah, I remember watching that as a kid.
Yeah, a bunch of people we interviewed at the convention said they started watching anime because of that show.
You know, this show's been around since the mid-90s, and there's a ton of episodes, somewhere in the range of like 600 plus in total.
Wow, that is a serious
Hey, GT doesn't
investment of
count.
time if you watch all of those.
You're not kidding.
Right, and listen to what this particular fan, who has hundreds of thousands of subs, says about the show. Notice that these videos have millions of views. This just
Super
show
Eye Patch
the-
Wolf. Super Eye Patch Wolf is a fucking based awesome motherfucker, by the way.
Impact this genre has on the public.
Toonami was nothing less.
God's not real. If he was real, we'd find bones. Yeah, I'm pretty sure God died a long time ago.
Less than a revolutionary siren call for a generation of young anime fans, replacing the older, more traditional.
Oh, who's ripping off who now? Wait, you talk about all this shit about how movies and stuff rip off anime. What's this fucking documentary ripping off? Did you pay Super Eye Patch Wolf for this little clip here?
Power Zone
Is he aware of this?
With a block filled nearly in Sailor.
Yeah, we all know about Toonami. Toonami was an awesome showcase of anime and shows and stuff like that. And yes,
by comparison, different village.
Dragon Ball Z had a lot of inspiration.
Cast of heroes as well as could possibly be. It was a series where people could suffer grave bodily injury and heroes could die. It felt like a show you shouldn't be watching.
What's with this fucking? Let's tag on some key phrases here. A show you shouldn't be watching. It's a show you should not be watching because it's going to convert you into a pagan.
One that couldn't possibly be airing on children's television, and yet it was.
You see, like Sailor Moon, there's a ton of highly inappropriate sexual content and
that was fucking censored for the United States for years, decades even.
And dirty innuendos.
Yeah, that wasn't allowed. That would have never passed the original dub of Dragon Ball Z. This anime is fucking full of shit. Let's lie for Jesus.
Some of the scenes are so disturbing that on this fact alone, it should...
Yeah, you know what? Goku saved the Earth multiple times, and he did not once demand people worship him as a god or donate 15% of their income and tie their earnings to him. You know what? Goku never said, I'm a jealous supreme being, and if you think there's anyone else more powerful than me, I will smite you and fist your butthole.
Or pretty much anyone.
What the hell's going on here? Distorted for copyright. So is this guy like an older creep going after this kid?
Oh, okay, that's weird.
There are so many of these extremely...
It's kind of nice. It's kind of weird how you donate to God, but the churches look really nice. Yeah, I know, all those golden candlesticks. I have no idea. I think that was a weird scene where a guy was interested in this young kid fixing his car or some shit. I don't know, but apparently it's supposed to make you think like all anime is evil now.
Inappropriate scenes that it's crazy the American public doesn't ban it due to its promotion of pedophilia.
Yes, when I think of Dragon Ball Z, I think of promotion of pedophilia. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. It's not like, here's the thing about America and other countries, specifically Japan in this case, is that they're not so fucking uptight when it comes to sexuality that it's insane. Like when we were kids, when I was a kid, there's a thing called playing doctor. Kids are curious. Shit happens. Kids can be goofy. Doesn't mean that it's okay. Doesn't mean that there's an argument to be made that it's okay to pursue them if you're an adult. Whatever.
When searching for the dragon,
it's a comedy in this case.
Balls, the young Goku is
Goku
seen
doesn't know what the
sneaking
fuck
a
he's
peek
doing.
at Bulma's underwear. Also,
He's like, "What's
really
this?"
disturbing is this scene of Master
What? There's
Roshi
nothing here.
asking to see under Bulma's dress.
A peek at your underwear.
If a 5-year-old shows up and says it's my alternator, I'm gonna take a look. I know it's whatever. It's fucking Dragon Ball.
Well, if being made into an embarrassing object is what it takes to get my wish, then okay. I've duped them into thinking this bothers me, and I get an easy Dragon Ball. Heck, underwear's not much different from a bathing suit. Ta-da! Oh, the
She lifted up her dress. She didn't even have underwear on. And this is rated Y7 for kids.
Are you fucking kidding? Are you going to really try to suggest that they showed that on American television under the banner of Dragon Ball Z Kai? Really? Okay. Just to clarify, no, that was not shown in the United States under Y7 on Nickelodeon under the banner of Dragon Ball Z Kai. Dragon Ball Z Kai was the abridged version of Dragon Ball Z, which actually if you ever want to watch Dragon Ball Z, watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. Don't listen to these fucking snooty anime fans that say you should watch every episode of Dragon Ball Z. No, it'll drive you mad. It is crazy how fucking slow that show is. Kai makes it watchable.
Kids?
Mercy.
But even outside of those grotesque scenes, there is dark spiritual undertones that need to be exposed. Magic is
exposed because we can't see them happening before our eyes in the show.
A common tool used throughout the series, and witchcraft and spiritualism is looked upon favorably.
The rivers, the trees, the wind, all the living things
As
in
opposed to
nature.
it being evil.
Please offer me your energy.
Because again,
I ask
black
of you,
and white
please.
thinking. I want to know what anime they would want to make. Like, what kind of anime would they approve of? Like, Goku calls on Jesus, and Jesus gives him the power, and then he throws his Kamehameha wave?
I almost have enough. The power is coming to me. I can feel all of it completely surrounding me. Just a little bit more.
Yes, let's not
Here it
understand
comes.
Eastern religions.
All right.
Only
Feel it getting closer now.
label them as evil.
There, it's done. If this won't stop him, then nothing will.
The Bible strictly forbids any such practices.
I also like, this is still under the mindset, too, that only kids are watching this show. Like, we just grew up and forgot all about Dragon Ball Z. And right now, like, kids ages 15 and under are the ones watching Dragon Ball Z now.
In Colossians 2:8 it says, "See to it that no one takes you captive by philosophy and empty deceit, according to human tradition, according to the elemental spirits of the world, and not according to Christ."
Oh, yes, yes.
For example, the witch character
Again,
Baba
if it's not of God, it's of the devil.
is referred to as the fortune teller Baba. Baba is an insulting word in Japanese that means old hag or old witch.
Oh, that's something new. I didn't know that.
And Baba uses a crystal ball to see into the past, present, and future, something the Bible condemns as an abomination to God.
Okay, it's also not possible either, so what the fuck's the problem here? It's called imagination. Can we use our
Like when
imagination,
King Saul summoned the
everybody?
late Samuel through a medium, in reality, he was speaking to a demon.
Yeah, although I've seen a couple episodes, I still don't understand what this anime is really about.
Hey guys, we hope that you're liking this documentary.
Wow, that fucking t-shirt, man. Second coming, are you ready? It's not happening. You'll be dead, and it won't happen. I wonder how many other people came before you saying that the second coming... by the way, Jesus was supposed to arrive when his disciples were still alive. Just going to throw that out there. Where was it? There's a passage that even says it here. I have it. Hold on. Oh yeah, let me pull it up here. We'll upload it.
That we've made took us about a year to make it. There was a lot of effort that went into this, so I hope you're definitely getting a blessing out of it.
Yeah, just for context here. So, by the way, Aaron Wallace is a brilliant man. Made a good series. Yeah, Jesus' second coming is supposed to happen back when some of his apostles were still alive, and Mark, Matthew, and Luke. So, good luck with that.
And we wanted to put this part up so that you guys would get a little taste.
Goku broke his fate and also Baba's ball, so isn't that the power of God?
Of actually what the whole documentary is about. It's a 4-part series. It's about 3 hours.
I didn't go over the
plus worth
artwork. Look
of
at this
material.
fucking artwork on their DVD cover. It looks like knockoff Goodwill Vegeta with a 2D Sailor Moon, and there's no fucking way they had anyone draw this background. I'd be shocked if they commissioned an artist to draw this background. They found some kid, some young person who was willing to be paid an exposure to draw these two characters on this useless DVD.
And we've tried to put little parts and bits on.
No, it's not necromancy. It's God's will. Remember, whenever it could be called magic. It's not magic on the eyes of in Christianity. It's God's will.
On YouTube, and it actually keeps getting taken down.
That's right. We actually did a live about this because we wanted to show you guys what all was in this. And there was one clip, it was maybe about 2 minutes long, from Full Metal Alchemist that we got from YouTube, but YouTube copyright struck it, took it down. Usually we
Is this your way of bullshitting your way to getting more people to buy it?
The fair use.
To buy the rest of
fair
the
use
parts
law
here?
is written so that we can comment and react and things like that, but no,
Yeah, we
they
can
won't
watch a
even
video
allow
of
it
this,
up.
damn.
So if you're out there and you're saying, why don't you just put it up on YouTube? They won't let us. So we are dependent on you guys. We appreciate all your support that we've put a year's worth of work into
Let's
this.
move on.
In Genesis.
There's a lot. Genesis, Inuyasha, ones that they've Prince of constantly attacking spiritual things.
That's right.
Twisting biblical concepts, then there must be a reason why they're doing this.
That's right.
Yes, they're all in conspiracy to convert everybody to Satanism. You got it. You nailed it right in the head.
Just saw a comment today where somebody said, I actually haven't watched anime in a long time, and it's hard to find good anime. And I was like, that's a good principle. If it's hard to find good, it's best just to stay away from it altogether. So
what the fuck is that? Yeah, it might be hard to find a good movie to watch, but if it's hard to find one, maybe just stay away from it altogether. But like, what do you mean? What is good to you?
I hope you guys are enjoying this. There are links to the description if you want to buy this on DVD and put it on your bookshelf, or if you want just the digital copy. We have both
fucking
links. You can get
$30.
digital
Go
download
fuck yourself.
and the DVD. And we love you. And
You're not plugging your shit here. Go fuck off.
You see the mission to destroy.
What to planet?
Alright,
But
what
it's
we
not
got here?
anime. One of the
geez,
characters is to
accidentally,
collect 7 Dragon Balls that are hidden all over the earth in order to have
Yes,
2
the concept of
wishes
Dragon Ball Z.
granted by the Dragon Lord.
I mean, 1 wish. It was 2 wishes later, but whatever.
The theme song
Semantics.
repeatedly chants the phrase,
The book of Revelation called Satan a dragon. So basically they are asking Satan to get them.
That's it. How can we write a song for the American audience of Dragon Ball Z? In the intro, we can have a little dog whistle for Satanism by saying, "Rock the dragon, come get me." Oh, that's brilliant. No one will ever suspect a thing.
the story centers around a young alien named Son Goku, who was sent down to Earth as a baby. In the Dragon Ball anime, they are 3 supreme beings called the Super Saiyan Gods from Universe 7.
I think everyone here knows the concept of Dragon Ball Z.
That
Story of God sending Jesus down to
Earth to destroy it.
Okay, I guess
Isn't that kinda
I'm gonna let it play for the sake of let's see what kind of fucking connections they pull out of their ass.
like the story of God sending Jesus down to Earth?
Or like Superman being sent here, or any being whatsoever falling to Earth. Like when what is this? Apocalypse came down in the Superman story in the Death of Superman, and he came down from space, depending on which version you read. When he came down from space, was that also like Jesus being sent down from the heavens? I mean, come on.
Yeah, pretty similar. But the twist is, instead of being sent to Earth to save it, he's sent to destroy it.
Yes.
We send adult fighters to planets with strong inhabitants.
Yes.
Kakarot was sent to clean up this planet.
Yeah.
Been here all these years.
He was sent here to
Your
originally
mission
destroy
was
it, and he
Goku
changed.
is an angry child who has an accident while growing up, causing him to change his motives from being the destroyer of Earth into the savior of Earth. There's an episode titled The Father of Goku, and a prophecy was given to Goku's father, Bardock, that he will have a son, and he will be a savior of the Earth.
Take heart, Bardock, a savior.
Someone else who wanted to become more powerful than 3 supreme beings. That sounds a bit like Satan?
It says here on the DB.
Wait, what? Goku didn't grow up wanting to be more powerful than specifically the Saiyans. He just wanted to be the fucking best and push himself beyond his limits. Just like Satan? Yes, just like Satan. And when Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder and he wanted to push himself beyond his limits and become more powerful than the other bodybuilders, that was also just like Satan. And when, it can make the connection with any fucking like athlete on Earth, or any story of someone wanted to be the best. A gladiator wanted to be the best.
Z or Dragon Ball Z wiki that Goku wants to become the most powerful Super Saiyan God, which can be obtained through a ritual involving 6 righteous Saiyans or special divine training.
I mean, they're like pulling so many various things of Dragon Ball, which is so fucking huge. I can't keep up with
Righteous hearts must join hands and instill.
That's right, Michelle.
Yeah, so to make the Super Saiyan God originally, it was a bunch of Saiyans joining together in hands, and they made Goku a Super Saiyan God. The end.
Now you're seeing who this really is. In the end, Goku takes the board.
It's in the end, it's about how they have to come up with new ideas to make Goku more powerful and make opponents more powerful for him to face.
Back to heaven and destroys it. In the end, Goku takes the war back to heaven and destroys it.
No, he fucking doesn't. What? He attacks Beerus. Beerus, who is the god of destruction. Yes, Goku. Remember the episode of Dragon Ball Z where Goku goes to heaven, wherever the fuck that is, and just annihilates the shit out of it? You're like, yeah, this is a nice heaven you have here, a nice paradise. Anyways, Kamehameha, bitch.
There's even a similar story of a tree in a garden, just like Sailor Moon, twisting the concept of the Tree of Life. It's called the Tree of Might, sometimes referred to as the Tree of Death. But once again, you can see the inversion of the truth. When one eats it, they gain more power. Only Kai, who are the kings of the universe, and eternal dragons are meant to eat the fruits.
You mean I'm not allowed to eat any of that?
You got that right, buddy. That tree there.
Come on!
Just want that power by eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge, not promising
just one piece.
In the Bible, we see an account of a serpent-like being promising ultimate power by eating the fruit of...
Oh, fucking changing your goddamn descriptions again. No, it obtains the power, the knowledge of good and evil. You'll become as of God, he says. Well, I guess you could say that's power, but still. Point is, God lied then, if you
the
really
tree
want
of
to
knowledge,
come down to it.
Not the tree of life. It's interesting that they get their power from the dragon.
Yeah, what is it? You're forbidden to obtain knowledge? You should not seek out knowledge? I mean, what is this about?
Who is called the eternal dragon god, or dragon lord. The owner of the tree is King Yema.
Here it says that Yema's occupation is a judge. Dragon Ball Z has a lot of Gnostic imagery, flipping the idea what's good and what's evil. Yema is actually a deity in the Buddhist faith known as the King of Hell.
Yes.
Yema is said to judge the dead and is the one who decides if the soul goes to heaven or hell. Seems pretty Gnostic if you ask me.
It sure does. And so on the surface,
Gnostic? What is this?
Goku may seem like a Christ type, but when you really compare him with the Bible, he actually shares more characteristics with Lucifer. Goku is really a type of Satan, which is made to appear like a savior of the people. Son Goku's character is...
Yes, because of Dragon Ball Z, when Satan comes down to Earth and presents himself in the form of, I don't know, a really spray-tanned, blonde individual, we'll just be bowing at his feet because the influences of anime and Goku.
Based on the Chinese mythological character called the Monkey King, who in the myth gets invited to heaven and believes he will receive an honorable place as one of the gods, but is...
That's a good thing Christians came into those lands of China and Japan and told them they were all wrong by murdering the shit out of them.
Instead, made the protector of the horses, essentially a stable boy, which is the lowest job in heaven. Then he rebels and proclaims himself the great sage, or heaven.
In the plot of Revelation, Jester, so they pretty much say that Satan's going to come down, the Antichrist is going to come down, promise a lot of great things to the world of humanity. This is after the rapture. All right, let me just step back here and try to break this down in understandable fashion. The rapture happens. All the faithful get shot up to heaven, and then the Antichrist comes, and he promises the remaining people that everything's going to be great and everything's going to be fantastic. I am your savior, but he's actually a false savior. Here's a mark. Put it on your head and your balls or whatever, and you need it in order to buy stuff. And then it turns out, oh, they were all deceived because they weren't believing in God, and then they all suffer and die, because that's how God does things. But he loves you.
Which so happens to be the similar story of Lucifer, who wanted to be honored as a god and eventually rebelled against heaven. He was cast down to earth, the lowest place in the universe.
Excuse me?
Yes, he sure was. And Goku's father-in-law is known as the Ox Satan. His alias is the King of Demons. In other words, his father-in-law is the ruler of demons. He lives on fire.
Yeah, because demons are not seen the same way in other religions. Get over it.
Mountain, which is located in the Diablo Desert.
That's interesting.
The fucking arrogance on display here, too. Ours is right, even though we have about as much proof as these other religions. Ours is right, theirs is wrong.
Here also
I say
says
so.
Goku-san is married to the daughter of Mr. Satan. They had a baby who they named Pan.
Yes, Mr. Satan, who was actually Hercule in the American version for the longest time.
Of course they did.
Allow me to introduce the greatest woman in the world, my wife Adele. And this is her dad.
Oh, they thought they could get that one past us, but they did not.
An infamous father-in-law, Mr. Satan. And this cutie patootie is our daughter. Say hi, Pan.
Pan is the Greek god where we get our modern depiction of what the devil supposedly looks like. You know, with horns and goat feet, and he causes panic.
They're not even hiding whose side Goku is on. Goku's team is called the Dragon Team. The character Mr. Satan, who is also part of the Dragon Team, is adored by all and sometimes referred to as the savior of Earth and the universe.
He yelled at him? A pretty brazen move, yelling at our planet's savior.
This kind of reinforces the idea that Satan is the good guy and will be the savior of Earth.
What?
But Mr. Satan was a goofball, a fraud, and the heel of a lot of jokes in the series.
Wow, that's pretty blatant. And just so there's no mistaking exactly whose side this character truly represents, Mr. Satan's daughter, with one of Goku's sons, drives a car with Satan and 666 written on the side of it.
The number of the beast.
666. After Goku dies and is resurrected, he stands before King Yema, who is the god that judges whether the soul goes to heaven or hell.
Yeah, King Yema looks more like Satan than the god of heaven.
Interesting, since it's the god of heaven who is the one that judges the soul whether it is fit for heaven or hell.
Let's look at the comments.
All right, knock it off out there, you bodiless tramp. Single file. It's not too late to be sent down below, you know.
Yeah, you can clearly see this flipped upside down world when Goku leaves Yema and wants to travel to a particular part of heaven. He must travel on Snake Way to get there.
Yeah, look at how the road is windy, where the Bible describes the path to heaven as the straight and narrow.
All right, now we're really hitting the fucking conspiracies here. Oh, this is getting
Matthew
good.
7:14, it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leads
It's
to
all
life,
little dog whistles
and
to these
few
people.
there be that find it.
Straight
Wait,
path?
so do many of Dragon Ball's
Winding
villains
path.
have common attributes of God?
Actually, they do. For example, the villain King Cold has a title called the King of the Universe. Frieza, his son, is like the Prince of the Universe, much like Jesus is referred to as the Prince. King Cold has two sons, making his family somewhat of a kind of trinity.
Ah, yes, okay. I see the connection now. So they're trying to say that Jesus and God are evil through the connection of Space Hitler here, basically.
This is my son. I'm retiring effective immediately. From this moment on, Frieza will be your commander. In other words, the Cold Force has now become the Frieza Force.
There's a prophecy that King Cold's son will die.
Yeah, here we go. Some of the comments. I'm so lost. How do they manage to come to the conclusion that Frieza, literally Space Hitler, is supposed to represent Jesus? Like, oh my god. Yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Like, even if when I was a Christian, my friends and my Christian buddies, we'd be making fun of these people all the same too. So that should tell you another thing.
Frieza dies multiple times, and each time he's resurrected.
Welcome back, Lord Frieza.
Don't dream of resurrecting again.
That's kind of like the prophecy that was told to Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, which talks about how Jesus will ultimately bruise and crush the head of Satan. In Genesis 3:15 it says, "And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel."
And that prophecy was visualized in the fight where Frieza put his foot upon Goku's head, as well as his son's. Frieza has many forms throughout the series, but it is the same person. During the fight with Frieza, he asks Goku who he is, and he says he is the savior of the world.
What are you? I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth.
Really starting to reach.
Allied to good, nightmare to you.
Goku saying that he is the truth is like him saying he is like Jesus, because John 14:6 says Jesus is the truth.
These fucking people don't believe in your religion, though.
The way.
Again, mindset. That's right. Everything is a tool of the devil.
In the life. Even saying that he is the answer to peace is a lie, because he's born to fight, not bring peace.
Exactly, Scotty. You see, Goku kills his innocent grandfather, but feels no remorse. He says he will ask for forgiveness, but he never does. It is shown that King Cold is only bent on destruction. This leaves the viewer with a twisted understanding of God. And
I never for once thought there was some kind of like twist or connection to the Bible, let alone my reasoning for becoming an atheist was not because fucking King Cole and Frieza convinced me that Jesus was evil.
Makes him seem like an evil ruler. Even his appearance is with large horns on his head and a red cape. Yeah. King Cold sits on his throne as he and his son approach Earth to destroy it. The imagery of the second coming is unmistakable.
Yeah, the Bible does foretell of a time that God will destroy planet Earth, but it's only after he comes again and takes the righteous to heaven.
No, he said there will be a new Earth. Whatever.
We know only God has the ability to destroy the whole Earth. For example, the flood.
Or a supernova. Or the flood. Yeah, the flood. Yes, when he killed everybody. Every motherfucker. When he killed everybody with a flood. Yep. Nice guy.
Satan, even though he wishes he could.
I'm sure they'll say, like, oh, because people turned away from God and they were evil and stuff. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure the children on the planet Earth at that time were evil. I'm sure the unborn were definitely evil. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? They're full of rapists and murderers. I'm sure the children there were also murderers and rapists too, right? Give me a fucking
does not have this ability. It says in 2 Peter 3:10, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. God will cleanse the earth from wickedness and bring in an everlasting righteousness."
According to ScreenRant.com, many fans cite the intended end of Dragon Ball as the conclusion to the Frieza saga, with Goku fulfilling the Super Saiyan prophecy and finally defeating the villain responsible for destroying.
To me, I'd say it kind of ended with the Cell saga, where like Gohan was supposed to take over at that point, but never did.
His home planet.
Of course, this moment ended up being the beginning of a whole new chapter for Dragon Ball, rather than the ending.
This gateway anime is full of satanic imagery. And what's with the sigil of Lucifer and Vegeta's forehead?
Give me a fucking... That is some fucking stretching, if I ever seen it.
It is full of satanic imagery. And what's with the...
They used Vegeta's widow's peak and the time that he was marked by Majin Buu. Or Majin, I mean, or... I forgot, the wizard's name was Buu, wasn't it? Or Bibidi? That's right. His widow's peak and the M. If you, well, it's not fully complete yet, but if you put some extra lines there, yeah, we put a few more extra crosses there, and there, now you have the symbol. Yeah. You're missing this part here, you're missing this part here. Like you're kind of and this connection here, also the M's not exactly right either, but hey, it's close enough.
Lucifer and Vegeta's
Got
forehead.
it, nailed it.
Sigil of what?
Nailed it.
Oh, this is like the sigil of Lucifer. So are you a Satanist or anything contributing the Satan pagan?
Well, according to the website
Satan.
symboldictionary.com, the sigil of Lucifer means the seal of Satan, used in conjunction.
The sigil of Lucifer also means the seal of Satan. I mean, it means two things at once. Okay, even though those are technically the same person. Thanks for the explanation.
With other symbols, its original purpose of the sigil was to aid in official.
Oh,
Hello, I'm Scotty, and I'm.
My bad.
After Goku dies, and his invocation of the angel Lucifer.
Demonic possession is prevalent throughout many of these episodes.
Prevalent in these episodes? Oh, well, I guess, yeah, GT, where Baby takes over some people. So, are we not allowed to have possession? Are we not in a supernatural story?
I'm everywhere you are now. Inside you.
You're where?
This is kind of like when Jesus goes inside you in your heart when you invite him in. They're twisting it to make it seem like inviting Jesus into your heart is evil. God, fucking cretins.
You call me a parasite, but it's far more complicated than that.
You can make the connection with everything. I could if I really wanted to. I really feel like I could just take any show like Barney or even like a Christian TV show and just point out little things, like little hints and little tidbits. And how it points to the occult or something like that.
You see, I also control you. You're my puppet. You became a tougher without ever knowing a thing.
You think you can control me? You just...
Oh my god, it's
in their
distortion.
forehead. And whenever a character's possessed, we see that sigil in their forehead.
Yes, every time a character's possessed, which I think was like 2. This and GT.
You may have invaded my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps. His pride!
His pride will overwhelm everything.
When can the possessed say no to the possessor?
Just remember, his purpose is to steal energy from Majin Buu, so why not let him have his way for now?
When Vegeta's fighting Goku, we see that Vegeta has the sigil. He refers to himself as the prodigal prince of bloodshed.
Because I wanted him to reawaken the evil in my heart. I wanted him to return me to the way I was before!
This is kind of imagery like a reference to Jesus, who shed his...
I knew it! I called it. I knew they were just going to make some vague connections throughout
blood
this
for
rest
humanity.
Of this damn documentary.
So it's kind of a twist that Vegeta ultimately wants to return to the way that he was before, a cold-blooded Saiyan.
Yeah, so this leaves the viewer with the impression that the biblical Jesus is really evil. Vegeta...
How? They're not even fucking talking about Jesus. But because you can make these little connections to it, and it's also it happens to be an evil event going on here, it's somehow making the argument that Jesus is evil through this imagery. Yes, you know, when I started questioning my faith, when I started questioning the Bible, it was definitely after I watched Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't because I read the Bible. It wasn't because there was an entire debate between evolution and creationism happening in the early 2000s, or yeah, mid-2000s. None of that was going on. It was because I was watching Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z was just that convincing.
Even sacrifices himself.
Trunks, Bulma, I do this for you. And yes, even for you, Kakarot.
And so, one of the Earth's greatest warriors has vanished in a blinding flash of light, having made the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of his loved ones.
The second time.
His name was Vegeta, a proud Saiyan prince.
We're gonna have some comments here.
But instead of going to heaven, he goes to hell, an inversion of Jesus. The character, Piccolo, says Vegeta is going to lay down his own life to save the people.
So, in other words, do exactly what Jesus did.
Right.
Except it didn't work. It didn't work here. Oh, it didn't work, and so therefore it's suggesting that Jesus' sacrifice didn't work either. I got it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kendi, this kind of twists the truth about Jesus. You see that the Bible says that Jesus was never selfish. He was not prideful, or he didn't have any evil character traits.
Yeah, but Vegeta's not Jesus. He's fucking Vegeta.
At all.
And that's how he's described in 1 Peter 2:22. It says it like this.
I wonder how long before one of these people involved in this documentary either gets addicted to drugs or gets found with illegal pornographic images on their computers. One or the other.
He committed no sin, neither was deceit found in his mouth.
So putting this seal on the villain's forehead makes this
How fucking drab and boring are these people's lives?
sealing appear to be evil. The Bible describes a seal that will be placed on the foreheads of God's true followers. Revelation 9:4 speaks about the sealing just before the end of the world. They were told not to harm the grass
I
of
can
the earth.
guarantee you, too, that these people have their own things that they enjoy that other people would see as evil. I
Or
bet.
any green plant or any tree, but only those people who do not have the seal of God on their forehead.
Like the villains King Cold and Frieza, Vegeta is part of a trinity as well, the Saiyans. The father's name is King Vegeta, and his son's name is Prince Vegeta.
The almighty Prince Vegeta!
During one of the fights with Goku, we see one of the Saiyans creating life out of the dust of the ground. But as you can see, the life that springs forth is something evil, reinforcing the Gnostic view that God is evil. There's a lot of imagery of creation, such as when Vegeta creates the moon, a burst of light comes forth from it. When Krillin was about to kill Vegeta, Goku tells him in his mind, "Stop. We need to show mercy."
He's pure evil. No, listen, just let him go, Krillin.
This is an implication that Satan is the one that's going to save us and show us mercy, and not Jesus. Wow.
What it means to be merciful.
This makes you think that Goku is the merciful one,
I just said that. Oh my god.
and Vegeta is
Oh my
pure
god, yes.
evil.
There is yet another trinity in this
God
saga.
damn. Okay, I think we're kind of to the point where we can just see through the
Bibbidi
entire
bobbidi
fucking
and boo.
plot thread of this
Bibbidi
entire
bobbidi and
documentary. I don't think we even need to go into the parts 2, 3, or 4.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Well, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is a magic spell cast in Cinderella.
And we know magic is evil and of Satan, so...
Oh yeah, you're right. It does have something to do with magic and sorcery. There are many parallels with the Godhead in these three as well. As you can see, there's the sigil in their foreheads and on their clothing. And they are all from a planet called Planet Alpha, which is in Universe 7, and is shown to exist in the heavens.
We're jumping around again.
God calls himself the Alpha and the Omega.
Wait. Isn't the number 7 often a number associated with God?
It sure is.
It's also just a pleasing number, like 10.
And Bobbidi, Bibbidi's son, has an episode where he opens a
overused.
so-called seal. He
Like the
opens
seven
the
deadly
seal and
sins.
frees Boo in an attempt to destroy the people of Earth.
In the Bible, Jesus is described in the book of Revelation as the only one worthy of opening the seals. Revelation 5:5 says,
Yes, anything with seals. So we have like, I can't think of anything
"And
right
one
now.
of the
This
elders said unto me,
nullified my brain.
Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, hath prevailed to open the book, and to loose the 7 seals thereof." When these seals are opened,
Why are we using this type of animation here for your goddamn documentary? This is such a fucking waste of talent and time and effort. Why can't you just be sitting around
will
the couch?
result in the deaths of the wicked. This happens
In
just
human
prior to Jesus' second coming.
It's interesting that Bibbidi, the father figure, is the one who created the seal, and his son Bobbidi is the one who breaks the seal, much like God created the seal, and Jesus the Lamb is the one
Are we
who
just gonna
opens
keep
it.
pulling at
The
strings
biblical
like this
imagery
at this
is
point?
interwoven all throughout this series. When almost everyone in the Earth dies, Vegeta ends up resurrecting everyone except the really evil people.
I have 2 wishes I want to make. First, I want the planet Earth to be restored to its original state. And second, I want all of the people who were killed since the morning of the World Martial Arts Tournament to be brought back to life. Do you understand?
He didn't say only the good people. I was pausing and letting it play out just in case he actually did say that.
Dende, I'm putting my faith in Vegeta's plan, and I'd like for you to do the same, okay?
Of course, Goku. Arise, Purunga!
We're not going to get into the dragon's name, Purunga. Is there some kind of fucking biblical reference you can pull out of your ass with that one?
Okay. It shall be done.
As you can see, he made the OK symbol, which you know is a racist symbol. But I guess, well, I mean, this is a documentary that had a Mexican stereotype earlier. So they don't care about that. Jesus Christ.
The earth has been restored to its rightful place. What is your next
I didn't think we were going to get through this whole documentary.
Please use your power to restore the lives of all those who died on Earth since the wizard Babidi arrived there. Except for the most evil ones.
Oh, okay, there it is.
Dende! Hurry it up! We haven't got all day!
Except for the most evil ones,
You know?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
we
good to
hear
me.
you. Purunga's doing all the work.
I mean, I wouldn't want a bunch of rapists coming back, I guess.
Your wish has been granted. The people of Earth have been restored to their homes.
Vegeta, we did it! All the people are back! They're alive!
What the heck? I'm alive! I'll be darned!
Yep. We're alive, all right.
Okay.
Look, say
Again, a parallel to Jesus's.
Yes, Mommy, we're
There we go.
saved.
Once again, a parallel to Jesus's resurrecting the righteous at his second coming. He also wants the world to go back to the way it originally was. After Satan is destroyed, Jesus will create a new earth for us to live in.
The Dragon Team characters thrive off of fighting. Even
This is why Christians don't care about the environment at all, too, by the way. They're not worried about fucking climate change. They're not worried about the ever shrinking coasts and the acidic oceans. They're not worried about that because Jesus has taken the wheel and he's the only one that could actually destroy the earth or make it uninhabitable for us. Yep. We have no way of doing that ourselves. No way the corporations could do that. No possibility whatsoever. And what really fucking frustrates me is that even if like a catastrophic climate change event happens, kind of like what happened in Seattle and Canada with the heat wave, for instance, which is only probably a tip of the iceberg, which there probably won't be any icebergs left in the future, give or take of that in a few years. They're just going to be like, oh, that was God's will all along. Oh, okay, but we predicted this would happen. Yeah, that was God. No, that wasn't science.
Even when presented with the idea that
God's angry because the queers got married in America, and that's why the earth is in shambles right now, and there's no fish to eat, and we have to grind up jellyfish and cockroaches in order to get our proteins now.
could use the Dragon Balls to stop the apocalypse, Team Z outright refuses to stop fighting. They believe their whole existence is for the single purpose of fighting. This is a Luciferian mindset. When Lucifer, or better known as Satan, was cast out of heaven, he waged a ceaseless war in which the whole world has been engaged in ever.
They refuse to stop fighting, yep. Dragon Ball Z, the characters like, we're doing it, and yay, we're all back. Now we can continue on fighting forever.
Since.
Now that's a great comparison, Mikey, because the Bible says in Revelation 12:7-9, it says, "Now war arose in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought."
Yeah, they fought the dragon.
Hello, I'm Scott.
Oh God, no, please no. What else we got?
To heaven. Goku is a representation of Satan, that ancient serpent, the great dragon.
Oh wow, the DBZ fandom even says that Goku's son lives in Satan City.
Satan City? Wow.
Dragon Ball Z teaches an inverted gospel, which makes Satan the hero while demonizing the Trinity.
But Satan is a fraud. Mr. Satan is a fucking fraud and a goof in the anime. You're gonna mention that at all? Are you gonna even hint at that? No, because you depend on your audience being so fucking stupid that can't think for themselves. They can't watch it themselves. They can't dare to take time out of their day of reading Bible passages to watch this themselves.
Hey, that was Mr.
They really do depend on people's ignorance. This really is just a stroke job for people who have already made up their mind on everything being evil.
Mom, it's Mr. Satan. I recognize that voice anywhere.
You want to see some fucking violence?
Right. Wow.
You want to see how anime used to be? back in the early 90s and 80s. You had fucking guys getting sawed in half with chainsaws. Yeah. They held nothing back then. It was basically like exploitation films in the 70s. Fucking talking about satanic imagery.
It's him!
Look up Devilman.
Raise your hands! It's him! The giant!
Raise your hands! As you can see, they are also told in the Bible to raise their hands and praise Satan. Oh.
That's it, man. Don't hold back. Give it everything you got.
Oh, I never thought of it like that before. I'm never gonna watch anime again. I'm gonna pull up my Bible.
The world champion is speaking to the entire planet from a battle that we
Yep.
At last, thanks to Mr. Satan, the long-awaited energy has finally arrived from Earth.
Would you really expect anything else from the Dragon team?
I was gonna say I was hoping they would say, would you expect anything less from Japan?
Speaking of inverted gospel, you guys ever heard about the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Hey, isn't Neon Genesis Greek for, is it New Beginning?
And Evangelion means gospel.
Right, it's about a new beginning of the gospel.
Yeah, I bet I can guess what kind of twisted message they're going to interweave into this story.
I guess it's where it's
This
to
sounds
be continued.
super intriguing. I'd love to hear what you have on that.
This one's pretty messed up, but I can't get into it right now. I've got a podcast I'm doing tonight with a ministry called School for Prophets. And
Yeah, don't plug your shit. Alright, let's go through some comments before we end this. Zoids, that's a big one they would hate. Oh yeah, they would fucking hate, they would hate anything, really. I don't think there'd be a single anime that they would approve of. Let's see, wait a minute. Isn't the Bible a shonen battle manga? And when Jesus being revived by the power of friendship kind of came out of nowhere. It's the OG shonen. The Bible was the first light novel with an OP main character. Yeah, no kidding. Just do anything you wanted. If someone else made that same comment I did. Everybody we interviewed at an anime convention was super into anime. Wow, really? No way. I never would have guessed. Someone else made the same comment too. Bible was the first light novel with an OP main character. They just do fiction expose. They'll give you more to work with. Oh my god. Yep. Matrix is a ripoff of Ghost in the Shell. This is the reason why people are leaving the church. Your lack of honesty. Oh, did they reply to this? Which part was dishonest? The pedo, the witchcraft, the biblical themes such as Mr. Satan, a demon wearing a shirt that says hell on it while guarding a forbidden tree? Please be specific. All of it. Fucking all of it. Probably stole way more footage than is necessary to illustrate your points, not only from another YouTube channel, but you simply credit it as an anime fan, despite showing this channel. Yeah, they didn't even fucking say who it was from. It's just an anime fan that we pulled out of the ether. Yeah, it's just some schmuck made a video about Dragon Ball Z. We'll just pull him out. I remember 2003, Disney Spirited Away won an Academy Award, right? That is correct. When you buy something, you become the owner. What? Oh, they bought the distribution rights. Okay, well, who cares? Man, God forbid that fiction makes uses of references and symbolism. Anyways, thanks for listing all the various reasons we love anime, for helping raise thousands of gay dollars. Hey, hail Satan. You literally just said everyone was a representation of Jesus. Oh my god. Demonize and fear mongering. Yeah, no kidding. No fucking kidding. That fucking intro, man. Let's see. I know they have a Vimeo page. I got the Vimeo page up here. What we got? Great job, guys. It's refreshing to see that some Christians still stand up for the commandments of God, because we all don't. Yeah, the two commandments that actually matter: thou shalt not lie, and thou shalt not kill anyone. All praises to be to the Most High, in the name of Yeshua and the Holy Spirit. Yep. Okay. They talk about Full Metal Alchemist, and they talk about how blasphemous it is that Edward defeats God. Okay. Great documentary. Me personally, I feel like this is okay for kids to watch since they are already exposed to this stuff. Think about it. Blasphemy, pedophilia, satanic, idolatrous, sorcery. Knowing all this, you'd still give it to your children. It's like knowing a certain food is poisoned and it kills slowly. But because they already have consumed it, it's fine for them. God will give us account for what we have done with our children. Yes. We might have destroyed the planet and made it inhabitable for everybody to live on it. But we thank God we kept anime away from our kids. Netflix is getting darker and darker. Yes. Yes, Netflix is getting darker with shows like Carmen Sandiego. What do you got from here?
Oh my god. Holy fuck.
Look out, it's Eugene.
Relax, dude. It's a snowball.
It's a prank. It's just a prank.
It's a snowball! This dude can't fucking aim.
I can't stand Roblox. I can't. I tried.
Give me this guy.
I just can't do it.
Thank you.
Can't stand
Res
the
me.
look of it.
Shut up.
I'll heal. Drop him. Res me. Our friend. Drop
Oh
him.
my god. Leave me alone.
Fuck me.
We can't leave him.
Oh, copyright music. Alright. Not really much. Too long of a video for me to go through right now, especially after I just went through this documentary. God, no. I fear this is... Oh, wait. I'm confused as you are. The breakdown ending in Full Metal Alchemist. You say it's blasphemous because Edward defeats God, but he defeated God by humbling himself and turning away from alchemy/witchcraft. I think God meant Edward defeated his test, not defeated him indefinitely, as God was laughing and happy that Edward gave up his witchcraft and humbled himself to be a regular human. Oh, God. I really liked the first iteration of Full Metal Alchemist. It was a lot better than Brotherhood. Hot take, I know. Anyways, I fear this is the lie the enemy of souls has been whispering in all our ears since the beginning of the world. How do you know? How the fuck do you know, Jonathan Bell? You arrogant son of a bitch. I think I understand now, and I see. Thanks for clearing that up for me. Uh-huh. But what did he trade for alchemy? He chose his brother, which may seem like a good thing. However, it shows that in the end, he was able to achieve all he ever wanted and live a good life, all without God, his power. He can't win either way. He's either evil because he does alchemy/witchcraft, or he's evil because he managed to achieve goals without his witchcraft or power. There, he didn't humble himself. Humbling oneself is surrendering to God and repenting. He didn't repent, nor did he feel remorse. I'm sure, yeah, he should have felt remorse for when he stopped the entire country from being sacrificed in order to form a gem. The Philosopher's Stone. He was smug to the very end, and God disappeared, leaving the message that all that you want can be found outside of God. Well, considering where I'm living right now, yeah, I'd say so. People defending Full Metal Alchemist here, damn. Wow, it's like there's no genre called fantasy that uses magic in their stories. So, I mean, what's the overall review of this? Damn, the downvotes are not as high as they should be. I like how the intro was metal as fuck, yeah. Pretty sure the Bible encompasses bara, cooking, harem, seki, magical girl, Rayana, teens love, yaoi, yuri, itchy, hentai, lolicon, drugs, slavery, rape. And yes, it does. Yes, it fucking does. I mean, oh my god. Actually sit down and watch anime. Did you know that Trigun has crosses? Yeah, Trigun has crosses, everybody. Alright, well, we're going to call it quits for now. Good night. Thanks for coming. Look at that. I got the viewership up here, too. Looks like we have to actually do something like this in the future. Jester, thanks for joining. Yeah, I want to definitely do this. Yeah, I want to do this next Tuesday, probably. I don't know what we'll do next Tuesday. I think we're probably going to engage in furry YouTubers. Something like that. We'll see what makes furry YouTube popular, because I don't really watch any furry YouTube videos. Good night. Subscribe, like, comment me ideas and suggestions. Patreon for exclusive art and early videos. Merchandise at the online store. Check out the Weirdzora's channel for weird furry shit. Pause Off for gaming skits and highlights from live streams that can be found on the Pause Off Live channel. Work in Progress is streamed at the CraftyAndy channel. You heard what I said, now see it done.